Hi, my name is Stephanie Urbano, and I'm currently looking to propose the bill allowing public school teachers to speak their minds openly in the classroom setting. The reasons why I think that this would be a good bill is because students often ask teachers for their advice or their opinions, especially during campaign seasons. For instance, in the campaign of 2016, it was one of the most polarizing campaigns in American history, and we all wanted to know what many of our teachers thought, but they weren't allowed to tell us due to school restrictions. Teachers provide the best source of reliable and educated information that students have easy access to. Not necessarily every student's parents are going to have the best sources of information, and also to get a more diversified and unbiased approach would be best through teachers. Many teachers serve as role models, and this translates over to politics as well. So if a student really appreciates the way a teacher represents themselves or hold themselves or even participates politically, this could be a huge factor in how the student perceives politics from there on out. And it is the teacher's right to speak, and they can be viewed as an individual and not a representative of the school as a whole. Many of the arguments say that the reason why teachers shouldn't be allowed to discuss their political opinions is because they represent the school. However, if it was made clear to the students that the teachers were representing their individual opinions, the students and parents should understand that the opinions of a teacher does not necessarily reflect the opinion of the school as a whole. Regulations, of course, will still apply, but teachers should be allowed to voice their opinions within reason. Reason is defined as not making the children uncomfortable and behaving civilly without discrimination or judgment, meaning that they can't talk bad about another party, or they can't diss a kid for having a different opinion. There are a lot of different ways to word this. It really is kind of up to the school to decide whether or not a teacher is acting within reason. It is the teacher's responsibility to educate a child, so if they ask, the teacher should be able to respond. Meaning that, back to the first point, students ask questions. We've all been told to ask questions, so I would hope that the teachers would be able to answer them. And not permitting teachers to speak is a form of censorship and silences an entire population. This is something that touches a personal chord with me. We don't want to censor people's opinions. We don't want to restrict children from learning. We want to make sure that all of our kids have an opportunity to hear as many interesting and different opinions that they can have access to. This is what creates a democracy, is these differences in people, and access to that information is critical. And then children should be expected to distinguish between multiple opinions, especially on the high school level. If you're dealing with 14 to 18-year-olds, they should be old enough and mature enough at this point to understand that one person's opinion doesn't necessarily mean it's everyone's, nor does that mean that another opinion is wrong. And then finally, training children to respect and understand many opinions while young will encourage open-mindedness and political curiosity. This basically just comes down to the point that we want to start getting kids engaged early, because otherwise they're going to lose interest. And as we all know, voting brackets between 18 and 24 are very, very low, but we all have very high opinions, and I think it's because a lot of us aren't sure if they have foundation yet. So teachers can provide that foundation and that assurity that there is merit to their opinions. Thank you very much, and I hope you'll consider ratifying this bill.